is horrifying. Now, luckily, great job by the American. Sneaks up on the Tiger and fires every single bazooka it has right up its ass. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17 here, bringing you another CH2 replay. This is a 4v4. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Yes, it's 4. I can count. Yes, I can count. Holy Moses, Murfintron, Kenoodle, Wolves versus Palanex, Gabe, Burt Toast, and Ruterra Drifter. There, I think I got them all right. If you want to send me a replacement, greyshotproductions@gmail.com. Literally, on my last replay, I'm like, you know, don't worry about replay, should have a good amount. Nope, hot patch or hot fix came in and just wiped all my replays. So I'm completely out. So there you go. My luck. But hopefully this game is great, and I will let you know who submitted it at the very end. But also quick shout out to all my amazing patrons, subs, and everyone else who support me on my channel. Thank you all for watching and subscribing. Seriously, it does help out the channel. Make sure you do that if you really enjoy my content. If not, no worries. But again, any support you give to either myself or other YouTubers right now is greatly appreciated, as YouTube ad revenue has literally been slashed in half. There is the ad revenue is just going down the drain faster than the stocks were going. So a lot of YouTubers being hit. Luckily, I have this is not my full-time job, but just note that if you do know a YouTuber who does do this as a full-time job, make sure you support them, and make sure you support yourself right now with everything going on. So there's my shout-outs right now. Let's go over the allies and the Axis in terms of their commanders. So we got a Brit, an American, a Soviet, another Brit versus 2 Wehrmacht and OKW. Looks like the British are holding mid against the Germans for right now. Big battle going on. MG in the church. Not a bad spot, though. A weak point is this way to get around, but looks like the Allies fortunately tried to go straight up. Assault Grenadiers, which were picked, by the way, by Mechanized Assault Doctrine. Really good choice. Held off the Allies, specifically the American, very well, who went predominantly riflemen. Let's see. Rune has gone double MGs. Locking down mid with the British infantry holding the point, then retreating. The American force is still capturing that. And it looks like, oh yeah, okay, so we got more Brits over here trying to fight Sturms. There's MG in the building. They should be able to hold this area decently well. MG suppressing the Sturms, which is why British getting in the cover, which will increase their DPS. But I have not mentioned a glaring hole and problem in the Allied line. That would be the left. So while there's a huge climactic battle going on right, and by climactic I mean, you know, infantry engaging, the left is pretty quiet. It's all quiet on this front as an MG gets set down by Holy Moses. Also, Murph and Toy went Luftwaffe ground forces. We got Holy Moses spearhead. We got Burnt Toast going Royal Artillery. We got Gabe going Soviet Reserve, which is bringing out partisans. And again, Royal Artillery's artillery. Fallschirmjägers might be deployed, which will be pretty cool. And Holy Moses have a lot of support abilities. And Rune went Vanguard, so forward base plus Croc and some air support. Good set of doctrines all around. Good set. Nothing too out there. Partisans is probably the weirdest one I've seen, or at least one I haven't seen in a while. Germans locking this area down. Now, the reason I say this as well for just mentioning this territory is the fact that essentially this allowed the Germans to reinforce the sector, and with them battling on right consistently, even if they can't hold it, as long as they contest it, that will cut into Allied supplies. And it looks like the Allies are gathering forces for a small push on left. I don't know how effective that's going to be. Grenadiers are in cover. We have a mortar and MG moving over. So Holy Moses is redeploying his troops. He's not just staying one point. That's a good sign of a good player that doesn't just keep their men there being like, just guard the front. No, he's actively watching the area and placing defenses to hold other fronts. So good job. The bunker might have been better used a little farther back, but overall, good use. Grenadiers trying to hold. We have Greyshot trying to go in, but the Grenadiers should mow him down. And also remember, the MG has support crews on it with close range weapons, so they will do something against those echelons. Not a lot, but it will help out. Now, it looks like the mortar did enough work against the riflemen that I don't think they're going to be truly effective. But luckily, they have 2 more squads coming on in, so that should help out. MG, though, is going to fire. Grenadiers going to try, riflemen going to try to flank, but unfortunately, this bunker is right here. Again, a little more to the right might have made sure of it, but at the very least, the bunker did work, suppressing 1 squad. Might chain it. At the very least, I would tell that other MG to fire on this squad. As you can still see, there's an MG right, or sorry, there's a squad right there the MG could hit. They're getting very close. They don't have grenades, though. Pioneer's coming on in, which actually will do quite a bit, as well as the mortar. Right now, mid is currently still under ally control, which is good again. But unfortunately, 2 VPs are under Axis control, so that's putting the clock against the allies. MG right here, most likely suppress any activity. Double MG, so it's literally a no man's land. Neither side can really push without being suppressed. And yeah, Pioneers pushed back the American force with the MG taking very little, if any, damage at all. Maybe a shot or two, but overall good use of it. But meanwhile, middle is right now the biggest contention. We have an AT gun, we have a mortar, so it looks like Rune is really heavily in placing mid, and that's not a bad idea. It's a good location. There's lots of different buildings, put MGs in, lots of close areas. If you want to put mines and mortars, again, you can move it up. I do question the placement. I think maybe back here would have been a little better, because then you can have the house in front kind of blocking sight, whereas here you do kind of get a little bit more range with something like a Panzer or a Pack 40 that could go in from afar, but that's why you have the MGs right there guarding it. So right now that's good. Hopefully you can keep up the defensive nature of these MGs. Looks like we have Volk squads going for the cutoff, which actually, again, good idea. There's 1 point here, you cut it off, and the allies no longer get this point. Also good mortar. Again, a good combination of an Axis force. I feel like, there was a comment over here like, Greyshot, why are you shitting on them in a previous replay? And I'm just like, oh, okay, nice kill, should have retreated. And I'm like, I'm not really criticizing, like, as much as I could be. Like, gee, if you want to see guys criticize, go look up, oh god, was it the Malacca, I think, or was it or Empire Rommel, I think was his name. Oh my god, that was one of the casters I remember when I was first starting out, along with a couple other guys like Call of Duty Man and some other guys. But the big thing I want to bring up about that is simply the fact that, oh, he swore like crazy, whereas Call of Duty Man never swore, and that was back in what, late 2015, early 2016, I want to say. So, yeah, it's been a while. But MG opening fire on the Volk squad, doing quite a bit of damage, and they might want to pull that back. Luckily, he does have a support gun on standby, which is hitting the British defenses. I don't know if the mortar's in range. It might just barely, but I think it's right out of range, which will suck for that. We have a Stewart on the field. Also, Planlix went Rangers, so that will increase close range and anti-armor capabilities for the American, plus you have smoke abilities. Right now, we do have some forces redistributing. Holy Moses continuing to put down a ton of bunkers. We have a total of 4 bunkers right now on the field, but I think he's I think that's a little bit fine, because he's also has the most stable, at least conquered front for the time being. So if he can continue to hold that, that's great, but also take note that he's putting down so many bunkers that may cost him just not having a huge army, rather a static position. I mean, it could work. I mean, on paper, it could work. The Maginot Line on paper is a good idea. Well, unfortunately, when commanders decide to pull out early, thinking all hope is lost, even though the soldiers are like, dude, we got this. They've been launching Stukas at us all day. They've been using artillery all day, and most of the Maginot defenses are still holding. We can do this. And the commander's like, nope, we're falling back. And then, of course, you have the breakthrough of Sedan and everything else that happened. Highly recommend Time Ghost. Really interesting stuff about that. But again, we'll see if this plays out well. Now, nice kills all around. The American going in for that flanking, some kills on the retreat. Also, we can see here, again, good upgrade with the Soviets here, with the PPSH. Didn't do a ton of damage, but I do like the upgrade conscripts. And we can see here he has more squads on standby. But anyway, the American is trying to kill the cash, which would be a nice win. Plus, he'll cut off the fuel, which, as we can see here, the Axis just got for themselves. There is an MG here. It doesn't have armor-piercing rounds, so it's really not going to be as effective. And I do believe if it probably, though, tried to retreat, it would probably die. We look at Wolves right now. He doesn't have much of an army. Most of his forces, unfortunately, did perish on retreat or something. Luckily, Volk squads are coming in to save the fuel cache right now. Is that fuel? Yeah, fuel cache. Stewart could kill it. Stewart can focus on this. I would rather kill the 250 cache than try to kill this infantry. That's just me, though. Unless there's additional forces coming on in, which I don't see. Oh, wow. I was thinking that the Volk squads would break through because they would like get in the cover and overwhelm them, and then try to one squad would mow them down, the other squad would bum rush the Stewart and Panzerfaust. But no, they just kind of chilled in the middle. Okay. I mean, the Stewart just mowed you down, but, you know, if that's the way you want to do it, that's fine. But good use of an American counterattack. Great flank by Panlex. I also like he's been going back and forth. He's been kind of being highly mobile, but that's kind of the Americans in general. They're a highly mobile force, which is good compared to, let's say, the Brits, which is also equally effective right now, playing to its advantage of being more static and defensive. Unfortunately, this German has been not as effective with his mobile warfare, but he's about to get, I'm assuming, a Panzer type unit, aka a not Tiger, Panzer IV, Jesus. He does have access to a Tiger, but I don't think he's going to get that yet. But I think he'll deploy a Panzer IV shortly, because he has gotten the upgrade, and theoretically, he could have gotten in already, could have had an 11-minute Panzer IV, which is incredibly early, mind you, which is why I always say a 10-minute AT gun is essential. You need that out in 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we have a support gun. Again, like the positioning behind the fence. Volk squad's falling on back because of the American forces, specifically the Rangers, which are devastating close range. Again, good use there. At least trying to overwhelm. British trying to move up. Again, it looks like the British did upgrade to 5-man squads, and he has multiple, two, but still, at least he's a few more frontline squads. Great grenade on his part. Fallschirmjäger's pulling on back. Grenade being thrown, unfortunately, not very effective by the Brits. Good mortar fire, and I believe that is, yep, it is from the mortar. So the mortar pit did have range on that support gun earlier on. He just probably needed to focus it, or maybe it was only one mortar for that tight low area. But point of the matter is, it is working. It's holding back the Axis forces. The problem is this, the double mortar that's currently focusing on this, also hitting the unfortunate conscripts kind of walking up in this vicinity. Now, the good news is for the mortar, and this is a big thing, they're grouped up. Don't do this. You want to separate your mortar. You want to make sure it's like a little bit farther apart. That way they don't get hit. We got some German force pushing on in. Nice Molotov. So close to killing it. This squad also very close. Will the Germans be able to escape? Looks like they will. MG's in also a weird spot. You want to make sure the MGs kind of can see the target. Now, unfortunately, these conscripts can actually fire on the mortars from its positioning. It took them actually moving up more before the MG's like, oh, I can actually shoot them. So a little weird on that. Wolves is getting a Panther at 12. We got a 13-minute Panther. Jesus. That is early. Although, again, good work on Moses over here. Because he's put down multiple caches to help his team. And also, he's getting a Panther. I thought he was going for a Panzer IV, but no, he's going straight for a Panther. I'm of two minds of this. I don't mind two German players going heavier armor, especially if they can rush it. That's a great idea. My concern, though, is the fact that right now the Allies are predominantly an infantry-based force, and they're not an armor force. Yes, I say that with an SC-76 below me, but right now he has, what, 2 SC-76s? The British have a lot of actually good anti-armor defenses by Burnt Toast Royal Engineers with Piats. We have a Stuart, and Rune has nothing. Rune does not have the ability yet to get armor due to his low manpower, but he could get it shortly. The reason I bring that all up, and also good caches, by the way, from the Americans, sorry, not Americans, the Soviets over here, which have placed it down, so good job there. My concern, though, is even with the double Panther, oh, Jesus, okay, I thought it was going to crash, that they won't be as effective. They won't have as many targets. Sure, they could probably hurt some infantry, but the S-76s can just fire at range, or AT grenade this thing, or something like that. Assault officer trying to move on in. By the way, did they fix it? Oh my god, the hot fix did it. We're no longer seeing no key or something like that. That's great. That's fantastic. But it was saying like no key, which I'm again very glad they fixed. Very glad. Ranger squad moving on in with bazookas. We have what, 2 bazooka squads? No, 3. We have 3 bazookas in that squad, which means that Panther will take some damage, or it'll hit the front and do almost nothing. You know, Rangers, you're really disappointing me. I was really hoping for some more damage. There we go. Okay, we got double Ranger squads. Panthers taking a beat. That's a good spread right there. I like how he went from like maybe like 10%, 15% damage down to a third from all those bazookas. That's more damage. That's more like it. That's some penetration right there. Now, unfortunately, the Axis are backing up. They did take some hits. And again, I'm not saying you don't get heavy armor. My preference would be a Brumbar. Especially because right now, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but the Brumbar has been extremely effective. More so than usual. So, yeah, that would counter stuff like this. Now, good use of the Soviets grabbing all the support equipment left behind. Again, take what you get. Right now, looks like the Americans going in for those other caches from the German line. We do have additional caches being made by Wolves, so good job at least trying to support, but unfortunately you still need to guard the one they have already down. Panther, though, quickly moving over, but as we can see here, Wolves doesn't have a large force. He actually just has one frontline unit. Not amazing, not great, could be a lot better. But at least it's something which hopefully he can rush up. Oh, looks like they instantly retreated his men as soon as he saw all the squads coming in. Okay, and the Panther, so that's good, that's good. Did the Cache live? Cache is barely... Oh, it's half dead. Meanwhile, we got Panther. We got 2 Panther. I'm sorry. We have 3 Panthers on the field. So we'll see if that is able to help the Allies break the... the Axis break the Allies. Piat Force, though, is moving on in. A little of an issue. Oh, wait, no. Rangers coming in behind. The MG is why. Luckily, the MG is facing the wrong way, so I'll allow the Royal Engineers to get closer. Problem is this MG, which is going to suppress those squads that you kind of need. Now, luckily, the Soviets like, we got this. Su-76 artillery. Clear. And, yeah, he cleared the building, all right. It's clear. So, the Royal Engineers are just heading back for a quick repair or a quick heal by this point. Panthers are taking some damage. The infantry is being totally suppressed by the MG. So once again, this building is also very low. So you want to get your men out before it collapses on yourself. Especially with a Panther, something slow, not slow firing, but a little slower than like the map, like 2 or 3 Su-76s just firing and firing like consistently. That will do a little bit more damage. Panther takes a little more time. Let's see, Panzer Grenadiers holding on to the munitions, or trying to take the munitions of the closer to the Axis from the Allies. That's good. And again, not a bad idea for anti-armor. My concern, though, is more anti-infantry based. Especially with, look at all these conscripts. That is a lot of damage right there that could be done against the Axis. But the Axis aren't out of the woods yet. They have Fallschirmjägers, which are upgrading along with the Volk. So at the very least, Merfentron has a good fighting force, has something good. Conscripts building up defenses, so great job there. Su-76 is on standby. Although Volk squads could get a nice Panzerfaust in. Don't know why they retreated. There's really nothing stopping them. Also, Wolves, a lot of resources at your disposal. Artillery coming in. So he's 500 munitions. Wolves, I would recommend, especially if you have a Pioneer squad, once you're done with this, a Nets minefield would be great to stop the American forces or something like that to kind of hold back. Anytime I have excess, like even Ken Doodle could do the same thing, place mines and other other stuff that, or even use recon to help identify targets. We have a Cromwell on the field and we have a Valentine on the field. And we have another Cromwell being made. Cromwell has been boosted to the where I'm like, okay, I like it. I never was a fan, but now I'm starting to like the thing. Panther, unfortunately, in the wrong fight, accidentally turns itself, and now getting a great shot with the bazooka at its rear. Meanwhile, something just collapsed. Oh, the MG. Luckily, the building. Luckily, the MG got out. All the troops are grouped up together again. Molotov is actually doing a bit of damage because they're all grouped up together. Great shot with the Firefly, getting a great hit on the Panther, though multiple Panthers moving on in to target. Panther could easily overwhelm, especially with the infantry support, that Firefly. But luckily, a saving grace is A, the artillery, which will hopefully block their path, and B, the fact all the infantry is currently being suppressed. Conscripts rushing on in, trying to murder them on the ground because they're all suppressed, and does manage to push them back. Plus, American infantry helping the Soviets push on in, and yeah, the entire line has broken open. Soviet forces pushing on in, American forces hitting the Panther with bazooka shots, and again, that's a Ranger, so that's increased damage. Axis on the retreat, trying what they can. Luckily, Panzer headquarters providing some assistance, some blockage, mind you, but it does not matter. American forces are just outside of its area of effect. Does manage to kill the Panther. Great use. And they pushed on in. Luckily, though, the Panzer headquarters is just getting outside of its range, just barely, and shooting, though. Jackson's on the field now, and it could open fire reasonably long range and take out that Panther. Once again, I believe there's a Major on the field. A recon could be used to a great effect. Unfortunately, Holy Moses needs to deploy something else. He doesn't exactly have a huge army. Meanwhile, we got Orange, aka Ken Noodle. Again, getting some heavier infantry out. That is a little more costly, but if he can upgrade it, which he absolutely can by his resources, that would absolutely help. Is there two? There's 2 Fallschirmjäger squads. Okay. Volk squad and Fallschirmjäger beating back the American force. Unfortunately, the Firefly is really not going to have much of an effect here, but luckily... Oh, wait, never mind. I was going to say, well, luckily, the double Panzerfaust shouldn't knock out its engine, because there's only one Panzerfaust now, but... Well, he got hit, but then I'm also surprised we didn't see a Panzerfaust hit the Firefly to cripple it, so that way maybe someone else could shoot it or something. Or an AT gun can move up, anything. Good shot with the Cromwell pushing it back. There's also a demo right there, which, oh my god, please. I mean, I saw the demo here, but I haven't seen anyone go there. Oh my god, please. Come on. Alright, demo hits the Fallschirmjäger squad, pushing it back. Didn't kill the squad, but it did its work, and now they're off the point. Armor, by the way, fighting on right. Panthers actually pushing in. SU-76, unfortunately, both of them have perished by the double Panther. In that scenario, that's fine, because again, you're actually dealing with some armor, and they actually broke through, so good job there. Valentine giving chase to the Panther, which is alright, the little engine that could, except, you know, it's like a guy fighting just 2 tigers. It's like, no, maybe you can deal with a smaller one, but I think you're biting off more than you can chew there, son. I mean, good luck. But luckily, the Allies did come to support quickly with the remnants of their armor, what they have with all the other armies, to kind of move on in. Now, I'm seeing here is a lot of Axis Panthers, and unfortunately, the Allies have killed one of them. But we're looking at like 7 Panthers. We're going to be 8. We're going to have 8 Panthers on the field right now, guys. That's a lot of Panthers. That's 8 Panthers. Now, again, in small quantities, yes, Panthers won't do as much against infantry. You have 8 of those suckers charging a line? That's going to be incredibly dangerous for the Allies. Especially if the Allies can't kill them at a quick rate. Panther moving on back. Luckily, the Cromwell's still doing some damage. Another demo's been placed. Good hit. He kills 3 models, stops him from capturing it. I love the fact that the Axis can't see that. Plane crash. Panthers moving on in. This is, yeah, Holy Moses is pissed at this point. And we're hopefully we'll see a large counterattack done by them, but who knows? Firefly turning to engage, but again, he does have a little bit of infantry support. Not a lot, but he does have some. Panther, though, with both of them easily overwhelming the armor. And they do have a flamethrower unit, so if they try to get in the building to, like, hold up for defense, they would be taken out. So good job there. Now, unfortunately, from what I'm seeing, do we have... Oh, wait, yeah, never mind. We have AT grenades. And do we have anything else? We have a strike coming in there. Panthers going on in. Oh, they're hitting the Sexton. Okay. SU-85, again, pulling back for a better position, but unfortunately should have gotten turned around quicker. Now it might be overwhelmed by this double Panther. This double Panther, by the way, has killed 2 units. A Sexton and a Firefly. Unfortunately, his infantry all got mowed down. If he oh no, there goes 1 Panther. Partisan forces have been deployed. They do have AT grenades. Dropping smoke, direct fire would be an option. Unfortunately, frag bomb kind of missed target. Panther needs to fire a shot if he wants to kill it. Unable to from the Cromwell. Cromwell coming in for the save, and luckily they killed the Panther. I'm still gonna put that a little closer to the Allies and a victory, because even though, yes, the Axis did kill 2 vehicles, both of which are cheaper than Panthers, and both of which also didn't... but even with those losses, you also lost your own infantry. So right now, Holy Moses, while he does have a decent defensive line, he doesn't really have much of a fighting force left. Meanwhile, we still have the double Panthers from Murphintoy. We still got Wolves with 3 Panthers, Kendoodle with a Panther. So we're still seeing a lot of Panthers. Now, luckily, some P-47s coming on in. Wait, no, P-47s. What am I saying? Jesus. Oh, God. We got British support coming on in. Jesus. As we see here, strafing support. So that's what the the rockets were, and also the anti-infantry strafe. I'm so used to this when the rockets come in, just P-47. But luckily with this variant, they will hit infantry units with the strafe, with armor, which is fantastic for, well, everything that is currently fighting the Allies right now. Artillery gets some good shots on both the support gun, which, Vet 4, gotta give handoff to that. And also the pack, which again is keeping a lot of the Allied armor at bay if they were trying to push through mid. Although it looks like a lot of them are either need a repair or falling back. Now, Tiger, I'm assuming, is about to deploy. Yeah, he got Tiger. He's like, alright, it's time to press the Tiger button. Oh my god, double. What is this? We got Cromwell and a Valentine pushing on in. But even the double British vehicles are not enough. Pershing, though, coming on in. Now, that's an interesting unit because it just knocks out a Panther. Unfortunately, the Cromwell does. If the Panthers escape, that's a win. Just get the heck out of there. Panthers, run. Run away. Also, you have Verkenwerfer here. Crew it. Crew. Panthers stuck and not moving. Unsure why. They're not also grabbing the Verkenwerfer. I'll critique that. Unfortunately, the Panthers stuck either on the building or unwilling to move. Perishes in the fight. Rangers coming on in with barely any units manages to hold the line. Panthers still fighting. I don't know why. Also, Greyshot with the Pershing kills all of the engineers. Frag bomb comes in. Shocks 2 vehicles. Tiger going in for the kill. I wonder, is that smoke? Oh my god, smoke being called down. Pershing might have some issues right there. Can it bounce? And is unable to bounce. But the Jackson is going to pull back because he doesn't have a ton of armor support. He could fire range. There is a Centaur here and also the MG, which is providing sight on the Tiger. That's not engaging him. Fortunately, the MG just did perish. And Burton Toast loses a good chunk of his men as well. Gabe still has a good fighting force right here. Panic still has a good armor force and infantry force altogether. Not a lot of resources in terms of manpower, unlike Rune, who has 1,000 manpower. But, yeah, it seems like both sides are taking some heavy losses in these fights. But, if I had to guess, the Axis are taking a bit more in overall losses. Right now, their averages in the 50s. Allied averages are upper 50s, low 60s, around there. So, they have a slight lead. But one big note is the current fact that the Allies do not have victory points. They missed the one on the flank. So with that, they're so slowly but surely losing the point game in VPs. Partisans moving on in to fire some shots on the Tiger. Let's see. Infantry's just coming in right behind. That's my problem with Partisans. They're very easy to kill if you don't watch right. And with versing Fallschirmjägers, they can mow down troops with ease. Yeah, you're going to have some issues there. And unfortunately, they did. Now, also, the left here, once again, nothing really engaging it, which is great for the Axis. They're getting 53 fuel per turn. That is insane. Because it allows them to replenish their armor very, very quickly, even if they lose anything. So right now, the Panthers, again, early on, they're not really finding targets. Then, but they'll still be a nuisance. You got a lot of Panthers, that's a huge nuisance. The fact they have a lot of Panthers and then still have reserves to deploy more Panthers is horrifying. Now, luckily, great job by the Americans. Sneaks up on the Tiger and fires every single bazooka it has right up its ass. Unfortunately, airstrike knocks out the Jackson. Unfortunately, due to the German air support, aka, well, airborne assaults. Good job, Fallschirmjägers. And, yeah, American force coming on in. Will it be enough to kill some more Panthers? I don't think in an initial volley. It will be close, though. Unfortunately, I think the Panthers going to pull back enough, and yeah, they're going to focus on other targets. Luckily, with the Croc, if they can keep the target on them, then the infantry can just keep doing work. And it is another Panthers down, air support coming on in. Panther charging it with no gun. Another Panther, 3 Panthers. Americans are leading the way. Unfortunately, he does lose a lieutenant, I believe, due to a Fallschirmjäger. It does not matter. 3 Panthers bite it in that coordinated Allied assault. They didn't even have much men. They had 1 Croc and 2 Rangers, which, okay, maybe it's a decent amount. And then they called in air support and a few other things, but they broke through the Axis lines and did a crippling blow to them, bringing their overall population, I want to say, in the upper 30s. Just about, I want to say. So, yeah, really good job. Also, Croc is healing on the front, which, again, kind of hilarious in my book. We do have Panthers on the right pushing forward. Major retreating. MG's kind of watching here, though, again, it doesn't really, you can't look this way. So you have that unfortunate little issue right there where it's like, okay, maybe turn a little bit. That might be helpful. Croc, though, now roasting the Axis infantry right in front of the Panzer headquarters, which is firing on him. And there looks like it was a Panzerfaust on his position, but alas, it wasn't enough. Now, Pack is slowly killing him, but the fire is doing damage, which will decrew it, which is really nice to see. Panthers are healing. One is operational. Artillery, though, hitting the Panther that's healing, unfortunately stopping the repairs, at least slowing them down. Luckily, British support from Burnt Toast is coming on in to help out his British companion. Now, also, remember, the American, I believe, still has enough munitions to call in smoke as well. He does. He has plenty of munitions. So, hopefully, he can call in support to keep smoke going so that way they can get the heals up. Now, it looks like right now he actually has his crews healing it while the smoke is being dropped. That's very risky because a grenade or something on it could wipe them very quickly. Let's see. We do have a strike coming in on it, I believe. Light artillery. He's going to pull back. They maybe just need to walk back a little bit. And again, they focused it. But that gave enough time to where the Croc will be able to heal a good chunk of its damage that it took. And while, sure, it's not totally healed, it'll have to go without its engine. At the very least, it'll survive longer than if it didn't heal. A few seconds, but it did. Volk squad pulling on back. Holy God, I just realized the amount of mines in this sector by Gabe. Good defensive use. Panther diving on the left. Again, we have a lot of units in mid. They're vulnerable to a Panther and not much there. We have the Panthers on right that are also causing some issues. We have American teams kind of pushing on right to help the Panthers, but not much really to save these units, except for a couple 6-pounders coming on in. But they need something to snare the Panther, otherwise I believe it's going to get away at this rate. Centaur, though, giving its all, actually, going head-on against the Panther. Like a couple destroyers against the Japanese fleet. Hold on. Demo. Oh, not close enough. Oh! Knocked out its main gun. Still worth it. That thing is at least crippled for a time being. Centaur going in like, I can do this. No, you can't. Cromwell now coming on in to assist. So that's good. Panther taking a lot of hits, pulling back. But one big issue, once again, is the fact the Allies are currently losing that VP war. Right now, the Axis are still doing a good job at holding 2 main VPs. Moses holding left. And then we have this gentleman over here, Kendoodle, holding the right. So again, good job there on both sides, just kind of holding those flanks. Oh my God, they're right on top of the demo. Get off, man, get off. Oh, this is so bad. This could end up so badly. Please get off. Please get off the demo. Are they okay? Oh my God, you have no lucky. Yeah, no lucky. You have no idea how lucky you are. I am speechless right now. But the Americans defy the odds, even though they're on a demo and being shot at. Get off it, and manage to still do damage against the enemy Panthers, which is great. Again, I will continue to repeat that the Axis are just pumping out Panthers. And a Tiger. They have like 6 Panthers, and they also now have a Tiger. Still a lot of armor, and they're still using it very well. If they can keep using the Panthers, hopefully not kill them. As in a defensive status around, that'll be fantastic. If unfortunately the Allies counter that, that might be an issue. We do have a ML-20 being developed. Most likely already their defense is over here as they're all grouped up. And also we have, well, one player, Ken Noodle, kind of, well, holding this area. Or what? I'm sorry. Is it Ken Noodle? No, Canoodle, I guess would be a better name. But yeah, unfortunately with all these tank destroyers, that could be a big issue for this Panther. The other Su-85s are not engaging. I'm not unsure why. Plane almost crashes into conscripts, which would have been horrifying. More cash is going down. So at the very least, Holy Moses is helping out his allies in resources. And once again, the Germans are at 57 fuel. They're going to be loaded for some time. And they're going to be able to literally have enough to deploy a Panther. Oh my God. He has almost 1,000 fuel. Jesus. Think if the Germans or different factions had lend-lease options to give each other resources, like even at half cost directly. So if like, hey, I want to give it to Wolves for half price or whatever. Think about that for a second. Oh my God, that's a lot of resources. Firefly kind of just hitting the general area, not really hitting a target. We have another Tiger on the field. So, Wolves has a Tiger, and I believe Holy Moses has a Tiger. So we have 2 Tigers on the field. Meanwhile, the Axis We're gonna have some issues. Allies have a good 6-pounder line along with other forces, holding back the Tiger straight up, which, Tiger, I don't know if you know this, but you probably shouldn't engage the enemy by yourself. Very low on health. The second Tiger's now moving in by itself. Okay, plane crash. A little close for comfort. But it did actually stop the Tiger from being shot at, so I don't know if that was on purpose or not. The pilot knew what was going to happen. I'll save you, boss! That's what I imagine. Unfortunately, Yuta trying to go in for a deep strike or, you know, do something didn't pay off as much as he might have liked. Luckily, though, it seems like the Americans dished out some heavy damage against the enemy Panthers, and both of them are dead. I repeat, both Panthers of Ken Noodle have died, most likely due to a combination of Rangers and all tank destroyers. His infantry is very low, though. Obosadon could kill it, though they don't have upgrades, so not as effective, but still, they are effective enough to kill the unit on retreat. You probably should have pulled that back a little sooner. Luckily, Palanex does have enough to deploy another Ranger squad if he wants with Bazooka teams. Plus, he could go there and pick up the Bazooka if he likes. I wouldn't exactly give him to Obosadon because I feel like that would be a waste, but you absolutely could do that as well. Axis forces holding mid, and again, that's going to put additional pressure on the Allies because, again, they need 2 VPs and they're barely holding one, and they just lost it. All right, Panther pulling on back, trying to get the heck out of there, drop smoke, and just trying to get maybe a little blitz action might not be a bad idea. S-25 being very slow. Luckily, looks like, oh, Jesus, piece of debris almost hitting the camera. Very close. Could hit me in the eye right there. Panther accidentally walking into a Sherman and, well, everything else over here. Jackson now trying to give chase. S-25 still not opening fire. Luckily, I believe 6-pounder or the Jackson gets the kill. One of the two. Good news is it's dead. That's the moral of the story. It's dead. And we have another unit that's not a big heavy tank. Thank God. We have a Panzerwerfer. I'll take it. Now, we are down to, by the way, after all those Panthers, we are down to 3? No, 2. We are down to 2 Oh, hold on. We're about to lose the Tiger. Frag Bomb comes on in, shocks everything. Doesn't kill them, though. We do have anti-air. There's a lot of planes coming in from the Axis. Unfortunately, Centaur might shoot some of them down over the Allied lines, which would be horrifying. Allied forces, though, are grabbing the right. Although Gabe has lost a number of his men, he still has a decent army. Not as full and compact as it was, but it's still decent in size compared to a lot of other guys. Plus, Burnt Toast, you have a lot of manpower. I expect you to use it. Sherman holding the line with his highly explosive rounds, and conscripts getting behind cover, but realizing, okay, they're retreating. Never mind. We still have air support coming on in, but the Centaur should shoot that down. There it goes. Knocks out that. So, unfortunately, though, the Allies still need to take mid in order to be somewhat effective. And that Tiger did get back to base, so positive, I guess. King Tiger's now on the field, backed up by Normal Tiger. Where's the other Tiger? I just want the King Tiger to have 2 Tiger supports, it's like a Tiger would have 2 Panther or 2 Panzer IVs. Sherman, unfortunately, bites it from the Panthers. A good kill there. Conscripts. Rifleman opening fire and mowing down the Verkenwerfer. Hopefully they get the kill. Tiger trying to put an end to that, along with everything else opening fire on it. Yeah, this might be a good time to retreat there, buddy. Oh, boy. Run, 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 run. Oh, that poor thing. Artillery is coming down, though. I'm unsure what is that. It doesn't look like it's a major. We have, strafing support coming on in. Oh, okay, it's perimeter overwatch. That's what's being called in. So essentially, the British artillery hitting anything that's hit within Allied lines. Also, the Rangers opening fire, but again, problem, they're grouped up. So finally, they paid for it, and the King Tiger just shreds a good chunk of them. Although Rangers still doing quite a bit to both armored units, and the Cromwell coming on in, having trouble penetrating with bounce. A T-grenade should be thrown to cripple the King Tiger, at least delay it. More air support coming on in. Great shot on the Tiger. Although we have air support coming in on the Allies now. Unfortunately, it's the Fallschmager one, so it'll take a little time before it starts focusing on armor. But good news is, at least for right now, Allies are still holding on to this point. Now, middle, they're a little bit different story. They're trying to cap it. Axis trying to stop them, but looks like with that pack undefeated. And Panthers, once again, having some issues right there. S-85 might die. It looks like he'll live. One last shot. Misses, though. Doesn't kill the Panther. We have a Panther coming on the flank, though, of that poor SU-85. Get the heck out of there, little guy. Up. Yeah, that's your end. Goodbye. Good flank right there. Another SU-5 is definitely in mid. We have artillery. Lots of artillery being used by the Axis. I'm sorry, Axis. Allies. And I'm actually a little curious on that. Right now, I wonder if they're just trying to kill these, like, bases. But, I mean, that would be effective if the artillery starts hitting the Panthers and such. Let's see. German counter to... Oh, my God. Air support coming on in. Great hit. And with the camera gets the kill while they cap the point. Piot force coming on in by their own engineers. They'll try to push the Axis armor back. We do have a light artillery barrage coming on in almost on top of them. They're grabbing the bazooka, but unfortunately the light artillery scares them off. Pershing coming on in, might get the final, does kill the Panther. So that's good. That's a good sign right there. Axis though are like, we got 1100 fuel, we're good. Unit survives a frag bomb, so Bert Toast is very lucky with that. Jackson opening fire. Air support, though, coming on in by the Fallschirmjäger ability. So, again, small issue right there. D-Crew is actually the support weapon. Tiger pulling on back. Oh, sorry. King Tiger, or Tiger 2. Pershing moving on back with the Panther coming on in. I would probably be very careful. No, not necessarily because of the fact that Pershing can't defeat a Panther. It's more the lines like you don't know. It's one of those close battles that a little support on either side could really do you in. Now, luckily, Rangers coming on in. Panther thinks it's going to win that fight. All the bazookas say otherwise and just annihilate it. That's one of the situations where it's like, yeah, sure, the Panthers started winning that, but that doesn't mean you chase it into enemy territory when you don't have support. So, unfortunate on that note. Engineer Squad placing a demo and capping the points. So, the Allies barely just over 100 points, stopping the fall right there, as the Axis now at 318 points, now slowly losing it. Again, still very close. Let me be very clear on that. Still incredibly close in terms of population size. So either side going back and forth over these points, it wouldn't surprise me. But the big thing is, though, even though the populations I think are really close, yeah, if we look at probably mid-50s, and the Allies are... Actually, the Allies are probably in the upper low 60s. VP point wise, the Germans could take their sweet time. I do love the idea of the demos right over the Panther right now. Well, that could have done some serious damage, but whatever. The Axis can afford to lose the VPs. Population wise, they have time to recover, even if they're equal or lower. And they might be lower if this Panther or anything else dies, and they have to be very cautious on that. Tiger backing up, but oh, they killed the Cromwell, but all the bazooka teams are lighting up that Tiger. They're falling back in the light artillery. This could actually do a little bit of damage if it gets good hit, which none of them do. Fortunate. Air support's coming on in, though. That will help at least hold this point for a little while. We have a Panther fighting a Cromwell. Man, this guy loves his Cromwells. Whatever the case may be, it's actually doing a decent amount of damage, and we have Partisans now coming on in. Maybe Mines? How much munitions? Yeah, you have 500 munitions. Mines might be a good idea. Mines might actually help you hold the line. Although they have two bazookas, Panzer Shreks each. Unfortunately, not as effective as the Rangers, but they still do a little bit. Also, all the conscripts apparently died, so maybe get them upgrades. Panzerwerfer for opening fire, I'm assuming on mid. Maybe knock out the MG, I assume. Miss the MG a little bit. Does a little health damage, but does overall miss. Armor Force coming in on right. Well, that was an explosion. And unfortunately, Germans don't have infantry to kind of move on that point to grab it. They're just going to kind of sweep through. And that might work. Axis really doesn't have much competition in this area. If they have mines, it would be. But I'm not seeing anything here, which sucks because he has so much munitions. I thought he would have laid mines on the right-hand side to prevent this exact thing from happening. But if they come up from behind, they could do some serious damage to the Allied lines, or they can make an escape if they feel necessary. So both options are available if they need to. Now, also, unfortunately, in this situation, the Panthers really focused on anything. Luckily, he is escaping right now. Firefly can still get a good shot on target. Does weaken him, although Panther returns fire. Infantry's taken over the right. Unfortunately, the left is now under Allied control, so they grab that from the Germans. Germans, by the way, have a large recruit army for the most part, except for, like, a Panther with 19 kills. I mean, good for him. But it's mainly recruits and newbies. Well, the Allies similar a little bit, but they have a couple more units of higher veterancy, like this Centaur, 25 kills. A lot of planes, I know, a lot of planes. But they also have like these American bazooka teams and whatnot coming on in and wrecking house. Rangers coming on in. Oh my god, Panther actually doing a little friendly fire action. Great grenade. Hold on. Double kill. Oh my god. I believe it was, yeah, grenade via the Comet and by the Rangers just murdered it. This squad might die if they focus. Frag bomb hurts his own men, looks like. Bazooka teams rushing on in to fight these Panthers. And, I'm sorry, the Panther and the Tiger. Why do I keep saying Panthers? Oh, Brumbar's on the field. Now, this is why I say the Brumbar immediately. Major's dead. Immediately comes in, kills the squad. Unfortunately, there's 3 Rangers with bazooka teams. But as we just saw, they're one shot almost. Tiger executes a squad in retreat. Good job. A Panther and Tiger like, no, they need to die. We can't afford to keep them alive. And great kill right there on the retreat. They might be able to get another squad. Very lucky they were so low. But Panther does manage to get the kill. Partisans, though, opening fire. Again, AT grenades could also be applicable in this situation. Luckily, Royal Engineers are doing just that. Trying to get behind, I assume, for a rear strike, but it's enough. They kill it. We have air support from the Germans on the right. That's a lot of German armor. And again, they did just annihilate a good chunk of the American force designed to kill armor. And while Burnt Toast has 3,000 manpower. Unfortunately, the American player does not have enough manpower to replenish his Ranger losses. Anyway, as this armor force pushes in with a lot of Panthers and a Tiger, Firefly is trying to hold the line, 6-pounder, as well backing up the Firefly. Panzerwerfer coming on in. Very lucky he didn't kill those Royal Engineers healing, but they probably should have moved in to try to help hold that line in some capacity. Armor, though, still advancing ever slowly. Now, looks like losses are being taken. Fortunately, the Allies might be a deficit here. I don't know. This Churchill's like trying to maneuver behind them, maybe? Oh my god, they got more Rangers with bazookas. Two Panthers down. I think the Tiger died as well from the Firefly. It did. That's 3 very expensive vehicles for the Germans dead. They have the King Tiger moving on in. The Panthers trying to get a last kill, but it's being very ballsy right now. Bazooka teams, you want to take that sucker out. It's like, bazooka team's like, roger that, sir. We're just going through the smoke. Target acquired, and they're going to ignore it. Pershing, you want to finish it off? Or Centaur, you want to deal with that? Oh, they're after this Tiger. Okay. Did they kill it? No, it's going to live. I have no idea how that thing lived. Pershing's giving chase. P-47's coming in on the Tiger. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Strafing support coming on in. Bazooka teams, one last shot. Oh, 2. Okay, 2 last shots. The first one bounced. But it was enough. It killed it. Yay. So there's the Tiger dead. Unfortunately, once again, with the heavy tank limit set at 3-minute intervals before you get a new one, yeah, the Axis are going to be in a bit of a deficit if they're going to try to, pump out more Tigers. We have another Brumbar being developed by Holy. If he can protect it and keep it at range, it could do some work. We have more Panthers by Wolves being deployed, though. We're going to have 3 Panthers. He has enough fuel. He's like, I'll just keep pumping them out. By the way, Ken Noodle has 1,500 fuel. He is good. He is good for any armored vehicle of his choosing. Alas, he can't keep a population to save his life, so don't expect it, at least for another minute or 2 or 3, depending on what he decides to get. Allied forces, though, recuperating. We still have the artillery here. I'm not unsure about it. It's been fine. I just don't think it's gotten a ton of kills. At the very least, if it's causing damage over here and slowing down repairs and causing issues with the base, I'm fine with that as long as it's causing hell and grief to the Germans. Because if that's what's kind of also holding up their resupply and their armor recovery rate, that's good. I'm fine with that. Centaur, by the way, pulling on back again. Also, gotta give it up to the Piat teams, even though they haven't exactly done a ton of damage or gotten a ton of kills. They're both Vet 3, and they've at least been doing as much as they possibly can in this current circumstance. So right now, what do the Germans need to do? Well, they need to hold the VPs. At the very least right now, all the allies are congested in mid. If they can kind of separate their forces a little bit and kind of knock out some of those random squads lying about with some quick, fast armor strikes, maybe, just maybe they can do it. They also need to make sure they get out. Now, luckily, they have 2 Fallschirmjäger guys. I mean, smoke is a very, very powerful option at their disposal for their survivability. Unfortunately, we're about to see Moses lose his bunker line because, again, they just kind of, well, walked around. Oh, no, he never upgraded this one. My apologies. Demo is going to blow that one up. We still have the one over here. That one might be... Nope, we still have plenty of resources for smoke. So, yeah. Just kind of curious on that one. Anyway, infantry being lit upon by the double Panthers. Brumbar opening fire on it. Again, looks like they're trying to do another breakthrough on left. And again, I know it might be a little bit risky to kind of do like strikes left and right, but if they can kind of clean up some of this infantry, kind of grabbing points and then just hold it, and then do the same thing on right. So far, the Allies have been more reactionary. They've been very defensive in mid, but they've also been slower on the sides, which may be why the Germans held the VPs for so long and did so well. If they can kind of do that, that'll be effective. Like right now, slowly but surely, all the Allies are pushing left. We got Churchills, we got Rangers, lots of bazooka teams with the Rangers, by the way. Hot damn, this is going to be hell for any Axis force that it runs into. Say goodbye to the bunker. But right now, they're also outside of mid. So if the Germans can push in mid and hit some of the lighter forces kind of left on their own by the other German forces, then that might do well. Or maybe they bring in everything else, and it looks like they might be doing that option and try to encircle all this armor and infantry that's pouring on in. Panzerwerfer would also be seriously good right now if they can get that great shot. Just putting up 2 likely scenarios of a German win or an Allied win. Now, unfortunately, the Rangers are opening fire. Oh my god, bring a Panther down to a quarter health. Pershing opening fire on the Panther and Brumbar. Brumbar barely alive. Cromwell going for the dive, but great job by the Pershing's Panther getting that kill. Brumbar having a fun time as the Cromwell continues to have bouncing issues or penetration problems. Finally gets the pen. Both Panthers and everything else are now hitting all these troops. Where is that Panzerwerfer? By God, there's a calling they need. Oh wait, what? Run them over! They're completely suppressed. Run them over. If an infantry unit's suppressed, run them over. All right, now at the very least, there was like a hodgepodge of allied forces. Axis quickly took them out, and now are pushing in. This is their moment. This is a good time. Churchills, not fast, can outrun Panthers. They can smoke to try to survive, but unfortunately in this situation, the Panthers have them dead to rights. They could call in airstrikes or something like that, but nothing in the Allies' portfolio I see as like a major cataclysmic effort. The other thing also could be over here is mines. Like, mines could have delayed the Panthers and allowed the Churchills to escape. That's not happening. Now, luckily, holy God, who is this? Rune coming in for the win has 4 6-pounders lighting them up, which is going to be an issue. Now, they could get out of this very easily. Remember, smoke is a friend to the Germans via all their goddamn smoke reconnaissance, so they could call that in. Luckily, 6-pounders are also aiming where they are, not where they're going, which is helping, as long as they can keep pace and kind of outpace them. Su-85, though, is lying in wait. Again, a push through mid. We've seen this before. Has not ended well, and another Panther dies to the Su-85. Last Panther in this push, trying to quickly make its way out. A blitz might be a good idea. He has the resources for it. Maybe he should do it. Unfortunately, he is hit by an AT grenade, and the Centaur is now doing work on him by hitting the rear armor. We have a Panther coming on in, trying to put shots on the Centaur, and also we have a Tiger coming in, trying to push them back. But all the 6-pounders right now are just doing a ton of damage to that Tiger and pushing it back. Once again, mines could have crippled that unit, but on the meantime, on the right, we have Rangers, conscripts, and more Rangers, this time with bazookas, not Thompsons, holding this sector. Panther coming on in. We have a strike inbound, which is the Fallschirmjäger, strafing supports. Again, Axis have, for a majority of this game, gotten a ton of resources, thanks to, even though they only have 2 players are doing it, a lot of really good cash plays. Now, again, good news for the Germans. They stop the Allies in the sector and hopefully can move up something like it's this support gun or maybe these Fallschirmjägers to grab that point real quick. Unfortunately, Plan X is also grabbing the left, and that Tiger is not exactly in a great state to continue its fight. And Rangers lead the way. He's actually gotten all Rangers at this point. Jesus Christ, he slowly worked that up. He's like, you kill one, 3 more return. Unfortunately, this unit does die, and the Axes are still prevalent in mid to an extent, and still have air support enough to where they are definitely going to be a challenge. But it's now looking, unfortunately, oh my god, another Panther force coming on in. Smoke used, not a bad idea, but they're charging through it into the enemy. Problem, the 6-pounders that are all, well, still alive are moving in along with additional Ranger squads are all now converging on that position. So they better get the hell out of there before they die. Now, luckily, Panthers do, well, hold on, I was going to say kill an S-285, but no, they didn't do that. They kill the base? Okay, good, they killed the base. Panther dropping smoke, trying to get the hell out. And at least 2 of the Panthers survives and gets back to base. Unfortunately, Bazooka team's coming on in. This Panther, he needs to get the hell out of there. 6-pounders doing excellent work decrewing that Panther. They could always recrew it, but it would be very dangerous to recrew it with Emmy right there. Looks like he grabbed the MG. I don't know if that was a misclick or not. Maybe he grabbed it to hold back the infantry. Nice strike there. Looks like we got a kill on the Allies. Axis forces, unfortunately, unable to grit that second VP. They are trying to get mid, but with all the Bazooka teams there, I'm curious to see if they grab it. But it looks like the Bazooka teams may be, well, more focused on something else. But, oh my god, through sheer luck and unfortunately allied incompetence in terms of their maneuver, like, I guess, movement, Rangers, not one squad was able to get on that point before the Axis recapture that objective. Unfortunately, Commandos are now on that point, so they'll continue to decap. German forces need to get on there quickly. They are unable to, if I can talk. But luckily, Canoodle has 1,200 munitions. He can keep calling in that airstrike all day long. Now, they do have a, anti-air, but it's only so... again, it'll take a little bit of time to shoot down those planes since there are so many. German forces, though, are coming on over to grab that point. Now, the Germans have burned through a lot of their fuel at this point, except for Canoodle, who has had a ridiculous amount for some goddamn reason. He's the Burt Gummer of this game, where literally he's hoarding so much that one day when the apocalypse hits and or giant worms, he will be prepared. And while giant worms are not approaching, he needs to win this game, so he's using everything at his disposal. Tiger tank coming on in. Unfortunately, looks like a lot of the Rangers 6-pounders had to retreat back to base, so don't expect any support from them, which means this Churchill is literally on its own and bird toast while having a ton of manpower at this point. Nearly 4,000 is yet to deploy a adequate force to hold mid, which is going to allow the Germans to get a triple VP point. They get all 3, which is very, very important for them to bring the Allies down to their level. Right now, the Allies have a 2-to-1 advantage in VPs, but it's still only 68 to 33, making it ever close. Now, the Allies are attacking full, well, yeah, pretty much, oh my god, grenade. Okay. A bundle grenade hurt him a little bit. Strafing support coming on in. This could suppress them, stop them. Let's see what happens. Hits the building. Not able to suppress them in time, even if they did. No, nothing. They're just holding ground. They're holding fast. But the Germans still hold mid, and they hold the other side. Plus, the German forces are capturing that side, and additional forces coming in. Although that Panther is extremely low, I don't know why it's over there. It needs to get some heals. Although I think a lot of the bases back here still been under fire by the artillery. Have you actually gotten any kills with armor? I'm curious. 1 vehicle kill. Panther may have died back here, and they dropped smoke a little late. Okay. Great. Germans managed to push back the Allied infantry. Rangers kind of on the outskirts of it, I guess, waiting for the strike to dissipate, maybe? They get MG, which reduces the effectiveness of Rangers, so I'm curious as to why he did that, but I guess he thought the MG would be better. Axis could always drop smoke, but that could also be a negative, because then the Allies can rush on. But they still hold 2 VPs. Very, very close. Right now, they've gained advantage over the Allies, but the Allies have rushed over and grabbed the left-hand side. So they are at least aware of their situation. And plus, the Germans still hold right, and at the very least, mid is being captured, but still not under Allied hands, so they're still losing points. Tiger tank making a desperate gamble to grab mid, but unfortunately unable to, based on the current circumstance of how many goddamn Rangers are there. Brumbar gets an amazing hit on those Rangers, though, and a nice grenade will do a little bit more. Incendiary going off, which will hurt all the Rangers on close proximity to each other. Unfortunately, the Brumbar did perish under the weight of all the bazookas and the Comet. And unfortunately, the Allies do manage to grab another point with, yeah, not much in the German army left, I'm afraid. We're looking at a German army that has a population average of upper teens, which is like, ooh, that is not good. That is not good. And while the Allies have, on average, I'm going to be honest, probably low 70s at this point, that it is incredibly unlikely the Germans will have enough resources to grab any single point, which will make this an incredibly close game, and unfortunately, I think a game that the Germans ultimately lost, because at the very least, Burnt Toast could always deploy like a ton of Royal Engineers, which he actually just did, in case he needs to throw units on the points. So there's that unfortunate fact. Comet pushing on in against, I think, the last Panther on the field. Hold on. No, there's a Panzer 4 on the field and some more armor being deployed, but it's just not going to be enough. The Allies are going to hold on to the VPs, and there's nothing the Axis can do. They can keep calling down airstrikes because the guy who saved up, good for him, but they don't have the infantry to push on in. Hot damn, that was close. That was very, very close. But the Allies clutch it in the end. By the way, Rune, thank you very much for submitting that replay. Very kind of you, good sir. Really great plays all around. And again, I believe a lot of these were your demos, which is hilarious that your commandos were placing demos, but really good job there. So let's see here. Most damage by far, and my favorite unit was the Rangers. Jesus Christ. And again, that situation could have been deterred if Brumbars were on the field. Now you could say Greyshot, the Brumbars died. You're right. But the Brumbars also came in the late game, and unfortunately we're left on the front, and probably should have had something else to defend, and either good infantry or other good armored units, and they could also take a beating themselves. But you add a few more infantry units in there, and they would have probably been fine. Kills wise, it also goes to Plan X again. Jesus, the amount of stuff he killed is incredible. Though his armor losses, again, were quite substantial. Just to put in perspective how many kills they got 83. Remember, they got tons of damage from the bazooka teams and tons of kills by the Thompson teams. So Rangers killed 19 vehicles, just in comparison. That being said, we should not deter the other players. Rune did really good early defense and had good 6-pounder coverage, as well as some good armor plays himself. Gabe had some good, although probably could have done better mine placements, had great infantry that were constantly on the field. Burnt Toast had a ton of reserves, though could have probably deployed a little bit more, and also did a decent job with his armor support. Although his Churchills were mostly on the run, but they were still fighting. He deployed a lot of them, but they were still fighting. Meanwhile, the Axis, let's see them. Axis, Wolves got most damage. Again, German strategy, Panthers. We're going to deploy a ton of Panthers. And that almost worked. For a time, I'm like, this actually could win. Now, unfortunately, you pissed off, Panlix, and he came back with a vengeance with an army of Rangers. So that didn't pan out all that well. But on the flip side, they still held out far longer than I thought they would. I did not expect them to hold out for an hour with mainly a focus on Panthers. A good Panzerwerfer strike on the Rangers also could have been really, really good. Unfortunately, that unit died to the Allied charges and airstrikes and whatnot. But yeah, and maybe our artillery will... he killed one vehicle, so maybe that was it. But overall, definitely very equal around the board for the Axis in terms of overall damage. But yeah, very close game still. And again, good support by Holy and Wolves for putting down those caches. Holy as well for trying to come in and help out his team. Though, again, his army survivability from early on was an issue. I will say that a little bit. But still very good. And also a lot of really good resource income for the Germans. They actually had that advantage. So even though they were losing a little bit, they were still getting a ton of resources to replenish to that army. So good job there. And some of them still had tons of resources. I mean, Canoodle had nearly 1,900 fuel, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that's going to be it. That's going to be game. Actually, before I go, let me double check to see their playtime. I forgot to check that. Wow. Actually, Canoodle was actually a lot better than I thought. Yeah, Planix was lower, and he was honestly my favorite, along with Rune. So, and actually, Gabe. Gabe, I like his infantry, at least for the most part, until it died. But that's going to be it for this. I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you submit those replays, greyshotproductions@gmail.com. And especially right now, as a reminder, go support your favorite YouTuber. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be any other one in the strategy community. Just anyone, because again, right now they're also being affected by this, like everyone else. So before someone thinks, oh, YouTubers are fine during this, no. There's a lot of things hitting a lot of different people right now. So any way you can support any community, either online, in person, whether food banks, whether your local, like, again, friends or family or anyone else in the vicinity that you know that is currently being hit by this, as I currently see the unemployment on my phone shoot to apparently 20%, which is horrifying. But thank you guys so much. This has been Greyshot17, and I'll see all of you next time.
Hello everyone, this is Greyshot. Before you go, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, these awesome people that include Jakub, Ace, Ion, JustThomasPlays, Ollie, PyroShark, Joey G240, and Milam. Thank you all so much for your incredible support. You guys are amazing. Same thing with my patrons down below. You guys support the channel so much, and I wouldn't be here without you. This has been Greyshot17 and his amazing patrons, and I'll see you all next time.